But I figured my personality is quite quirky, so I just decided to call myself the Quirky Pineapple.
Welcome back to For Entrepreneurs by Entrepreneurs. I'm Eric Verdi. Joining us this week is Cassandra with Quirky Pineapple Studio. We'll get to that name in a bit. She's a brand and visibility specialist that focuses on copywriting and basically brand strategies for companies. Cassandra is joining us this week from Madrid, Spain, where she has lived in Spain for the last 3 years. I love having people from all over the world on this podcast, and that's the beauty of doing it online like this. We get to have people from Madrid, Australia, New Zealand, all over the world. So wanted to have Cassandra on to talk about her superpower. And Cassandra, before we get into the meat of the interview, can you give us your backstory?
Yeah, of course. So hi, everyone. I'm Cassandra. And like Eric said, I live in Madrid, Spain, but I am originally from Northern Virginia. And I've been in Madrid for 3 years now. My backstory is, to give you all the short version, I wanted to be a professional blogger at the age of 13. And I was reading parenting blogs at 13 years old. I don't really know why. And I thought, this is the lifestyle I want to live. And I always loved writing. And then I realized blogging is not the most sustainable and lucrative job that you can have in the world. So I transitioned all of my content writing, copywriting skills, social media skills into what I have now, which is my business, the Quirky Pineapple Studio. And I've been doing it full time for 3 years. And that's kind of a really short version. How I ended up in Spain was after graduating college, I didn't want to go into corporate. So I thought, what better thing to do than to travel around the world? And I found an English teaching job here in Spain, taught English for 2 years, didn't like it, thought, okay, let me give my hand at the American dream, went home, got a corporate job in a large environmental consulting firm, worked as a training coordinator for 1.5 years, didn't like that. So then I thought, well, the American dream looks like entrepreneurship for me, and here I am. That is like a really short version.
Awesome. So number one, where do you go to college and what do you go to college for?
I went to James Madison University in Virginia, in the mountains. Yeah, in the Shenandoah Valley. And then I love it there. It's so nice. And I studied hospitality management with 2 minors, one in general business and sociology. So I really was supposed to go and like run hotels or restaurants. And then I realized that working in the hotel industry is really hard, and you basically sell your soul to wherever hotel that you end up working in. And I thought, well, I really like my freedom. I like being able to move where I want to and do whatever I want and not have like a hard time frame for things. So that's when I decided, okay, I don't want to actually go into hotels, and moved abroad to teach English.
Awesome. So Quirky Pineapple Studio, give us the backstory of the name.
Okay, so this is actually a funny story. So because I studied hospitality management, the universal sign of hospitality is the pineapple, which represents hospitality, kindness, being open, welcoming people. And there's like a whole backstory to it. You all can look that up. But I knew that I wanted to work with people, be service-based, and really have that warmth that everybody feels when they walk into a hotel or a restaurant, and you feel really welcome. And I decided, okay, pineapple, but I can't just call myself the Pineapple Studio. So I thought, okay, what adjective describes me? And I asked my parents, I asked my sisters, they gave me not the best answers. They were like bossy, stubborn. I'm like, well, you can't really call yourself the bossy pineapple or the stubborn pineapple and get clients. But I figured my personality is quite quirky. So I just decided to call myself the Quirky Pineapple. And then as the business grew, I tacked on studios. So now I have like a team, and, we work with clients all over the world.
Awesome. So you've been an entrepreneur for about 3 years now. Is that correct?
Yes.
So Cassandra, as you know, I believe that each entrepreneur has an entrepreneurial superpower, something that they do in their business really, really well that generates money and revenue and more leads and clients. as an entrepreneur, we might be horrible at 99 things, but we
This
might
is true.
be super at one. So what is your entrepreneurial superpower?
Okay, so I was thinking about this before coming on, and I know you said we have one, but I'm gonna give two if that's okay.
Sure.
So I think we can have one that is more of the tangible skills, like, accounting or whatever,
Sure.
and then you can have like a soft skill superpower. And I think my superpower that's tangible is actually copywriting and writing, since I have so much experience creating content to connect with audience members, to bring in clients for my clients or myself. That would be the tangible thing, and just really capturing how they feel and portraying that in words. And then the intangible one is actually what I call, on my company, I call it the fierce factor, which I guess in marketing terms would be your unique selling point. And understanding exactly what is your fierce factor, that would be my intangible thing. Understanding it and then getting it out of people so that they can actually use their fierce factor to make money and to generate leads and sales and all that stuff.
So getting the USP, which is what we call it, or the fierce factor, from other companies,
Yeah.
helping them to find theirs.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And
I don't know if that's
USP is,
intangible or tangible, but I'm going to call that intangible.
that's fine. USP, for those that don't know, is unique selling proposition or unique selling proposal, which is what you do in your business that differentiates you from the competition right down the street, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So you started blogging at the age of 13. Okay, so obviously you've been a writer your entire life, let's just say.
Yeah.
Like what's your, I produce content. I've written 3 books. I've produced a daily blog, email. What's your process for writing?
So that's a great question. And I feel like each writer and every copywriter has like a different process. Mine definitely starts with first, either with my client or myself, figuring out what the goal is of the copy. And then from there, coming up with like specific points that actually can lead somebody to that goal. Since I'm writing copy, my goal is to get somebody to do something at the end of it, right? So whether it's reading a blog post and signing up for an email list, or purchasing a book, or purchasing a product, I'm thinking, okay, what is the goal? The goal is to sell or to get them to opt in. And then what are the 3 points that they would need to actually convince them to go put in their email address or pull out their credit card and pay for something? So that's my process. And then from there, I can get into it even more where, you would have to figure out, okay, how does somebody feel? What are their goals? How can you write to actually pull on the goals that they have or the vision that they have for themselves, so that, your product, service, offer
Mm-hmm.
fits into the goal that they see for themselves, not just your goal. Like my goal would be to sell, but their goal is not to purchase my thing. Their goal is to do something else, and my product, service, or offer is going to help them reach their goal.
So Cassandra, I think you're 100% on point with that response. I think there's actually 2 ways that you can write, and one is with a goal in mind, right?
Yeah.
So I've written a newsletter for about 7 years now that has an opening monologue. It's about 3 pages, and there's 2 ways that I write that, and you're exactly right. I either start with the accepted belief or the goal that I want the audience to have at the end of that monologue. Or another fun way to write is to take a personal experience. Maybe something happens to me during that month, and then I'll roll that into the point that I want to get across. So you can
Oh, yeah.
you can hook them like one of 2 ways. And your 3-point strategy, I love that. And when you're writing, like you're not writing for yourself. You're not writing from your point of view. You want the listener, reader, to basically envision themselves and how it makes them feel. It's not how it makes you feel as the writer. It's how that makes them feel as the reader, correct?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like the other tactic that you using like a personal experience, that's just all storytelling, because we all have stories, right? And everybody relates to people through stories. Besides saying, hey, purchase this, or hey, do this. If somebody were to tell you that, you would be like, well, why do I care? But if you tell them, hey, I went to this cookie store and they had these amazing cookies and they smelled so good. Oh my gosh, I think you need to go. Then they're like, oh, cool. What were the cookies like? How big were they? Did they have chocolate chip or just snickerdoodle? And now they're even more interested besides just throwing something at them and being like, hey, take this. It's important. No, you've now connected it back to like the human essence.
Exactly. And I love that you said you have 3 points. So the human mind, as you probably know because you're very sharp, can memorize stuff in groups of three.
Yes.
Right. So that's why you use three. So you know this. So that's why you use 3 points. If you go back and study, if you're listening to this or watching this, study, you might or might not like Apple or Steve Jobs, but study Steve Jobs. He was one of the best marketers of all times. Any speech that he gave, he always had 3 points. Like when he introduced the iPhone back in the day it was like Macworld, like 1997. He didn't talk about like how fast it computed or that had 256 megabytes or whatever it was. He said he combined a phone, a iPod, the music device.
Oh, the iPod, yes.
The iPod, he combined the phone, the iPod, and a computer all in one device. And that was the whole selling point. The whole movement behind the iPhone was he didn't sell the specifics of it because people would forget that it had, it processed this fast or it did this or did that. But what they would remember was a story about how it combined 3 products into one. So I love that you and I are on the same page of groups of 3.
Oh yeah, I group everything in 3s. Honestly, it's easier to remember because our brain doesn't have the capacity to remember number 4. Or if we remember number 4, then we might forget number 1.
Exactly.
So 3 is the best.
Exactly. So going to your Fierce Factor USP superpower. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did you discover that you were good at helping businesses? Was there a specific business you helped? Was there a specific time, or was it kind of an evolution like, hey, I might be good at this and try it out? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah. So I think it was definitely an evolution. I didn't realize, I just thought I was good at copywriting and writing and telling stories and helping people write if they hate writing. And then as I started doing more like strategy consulting and coaching for clients, I started realizing, they're telling me a lot of things about themselves that I view as that could be, part of their unique selling point or proposition that they weren't seeing. So I ended up really connecting all the dots for them and kind of finding that underlying thing that really made sense to take their business to the next level. And they always told me, wow, this was always something that I was thinking, something that I wanted, something that I really felt strongly about, but nobody was able to really tell me it and I couldn't see it for myself. So not until you said it, nothing else made sense. And that took a while because, when I first started, I just thought, okay, I'm just going to write and I'm not going to really consult and strategize for people or help them with that because I thought, okay, they are hiring me to write. They should know all of these things, but sometimes people don't. So I would work through all of it with them and just gradually since one after another client was like, you connected the dots. You told me this, like you presented it in a way that made a lot of sense. That's when I figured out, I'm good at pulling out people's fierce factors or USP.
Right. Awesome. So another question here, follow up on that. And you can take this one of 2 ways.
Okay.
So if you were like dropped off on a desert island and you were to have like a 30-day plan or maybe a first day and first week and first month plan, either for yourself for reinventing your business and or your consulting client. And you can go if you're meeting with a consultant client and you're going with them or yourself. Give us the strategies that you take for the first day, week, and month.
Okay. So I'm going to do myself because I feel like that's a little bit easier.
Okay.
I'm, I think, more well-versed in change and adapting. So I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of factors with a client that I can't think about right now. So the first thing that I would probably do, maybe not the first day, if I was on an island by myself, the first day I would probably be sad and cry and kind of think to myself, oh dear, what have I done? How did I get here? And then after I got, over that, day 2 and day 3, I would probably roam around the island and see what is there, what resources I do have. And if I can't find anything, then figure out, okay, what do I have that could potentially, whether it's knowledge or a skill that could potentially be transformed into getting me off the island, or turning the island into a hub of something for other people to come to. So I guess it depends on like the type of entrepreneur person. Either you're trying to get off the island, or you're turning the island into the like number one vacation spot.
Okay.
And that might be because I'm a marketer and I'm thinking, yeah, let's turn this to the number one vacation spot so I don't feel alone and am alone on an island. I now have people coming to see me and like live their best life.
So how would you get the message out?
That I'm not totally sure. So I would have to see if there's internet. Probably not.
Well, let's assume there's internet. You have a computer and all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, then if that's the case, then I would start with a website. I would figure out my brand strategy, whatever that communication is, the mission statement, vision statement, elevator pitch, all of the features that could go in like, hey, come to this island. You'll get a beach, the ocean, and a relaxing spot. So 3 things. People are like, that's what I need, secluded. And I would publish that on the website, create some social media channels for it, and then just start creating content and get the word out there.
Do you have a favorite 1 or 2 social media channels that you distribute or have clients distribute on?
I like Instagram a lot.
Okay.
I think that's the one that is really adapting to the market, and they're making so many changes now within the platform. And then one that I think most people skip over is actually LinkedIn. It's an interesting platform to figure out. I feel like its algorithm is very weird, and sometimes you see people's posts that come up 2 weeks after they've posted, but it's like brand new on your feed.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's really powerful to make those professional connections instead of relying so heavily on something so fast paced like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter.
Right.
TikTok is also fun. I don't know if it's banned in the United States anymore.
No, it's not banned.
Okay. Well, then TikTok.
I will tell you, obviously you're on TikTok.
Yes, I am.
Have you made any videos or posts?
I have made TikToks. They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Dude, if you got listeners, viewers, if you are not on TikTok and you don't have free time, don't get on TikTok, because once you do, like, you'll go into TikTok. I don't even enjoy what I'm watching, but it's just like, it'll be an hour later. I'm like, shit, I didn't get anything done. I sat here and watched, right?
Yes, that happens to me. Sometimes I'm on it. I'm like, okay, just like 2 more videos. And the next thing you know, I like found a funny video. I click on this person's account and then I'm watching like 20 of their videos and get caught into the algorithm. I don't know how TikTok's algorithm works, but it is good. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, it's 12 o'clock. I started watching TikToks at 9. What have I done all day?
Exactly. Like, midway through the day, like, I need a mental break. Let me get on TikTok for 5 minutes. And then it's like 30 minutes later. I'm like, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
TikTok's
cool. Awesome. So are you teaching? Do you have any courses, or do you just have clients?
So I have a mix of both. I have like a hybrid business model where I have the studio side, which is for agency clients one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And then I actually teach as well. So I have a membership, which is called the Content Studio membership. And this helps people create content and basically show up online by building their community through content.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how would listeners, viewers find you?
So if they want to find me, you can hang out on Instagram, where we mostly are. You can see our reels where we've repurposed funny TikToks into video content for Instagram. Okay. We are on Instagram at the Quirky Pineapple Studio. And then our website is the Quirky Pineapple. And then if you want to check out the Content Studio, you can go to thecontentstudio.mykajabi.com to see if you'd be interested. We also have a freebie. I think that would be really good if you have trouble figuring out content ideas. We actually have a freebie that is called the Content Generating Machine. The idea is that this is a machine where you plug in your ideas and it will just come up with even better pieces of content for you. We don't do the work for you because, it's a PDF, but that is on you, but it makes it easier.
It's awesome. I love it. Love it. And is that all on your website?
Yes.
Awesome. Cassandra, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was so fun to be here.
You did awesome. So that's Cassandra Lay with the Quirky Pineapple Studio, brand visibility brand and visibility strategist, joining us this week from Madrid, episode 36 of For Entrepreneurs by Entrepreneurs, and we are out.